Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cosplayers Paradigm. Today we are joined with Sora Kitsune, who is
Kitsune.
taking the Kitsune, thank you, who is taking their time out of a busy schedule today to join us, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. How are you
Hi,
today?
to be here. Tired, but happy to be here.
Definitely know the feeling, as any cosplayer out there knows. Comes down towards the weekend, con crunch, everything. Oh, we put everything between work, life, cosplay, all of it together, and hey,
Yes.
ramen, coffee, anything to go ahead and get us going, right?
100% agree.
See, there we go. So the big question, of course, is what got you into cosplay?
Pretty much I was born cosplaying. but since I was little, like I've always loved Halloween. Every year, I always had to dress up. I wasn't so much a candy person. It was always just the idea of just wearing costumes and being whoever I got to be. Like my favorite characters, like Blue's Clues or 101 Dalmatians. It was mostly a lot of dog stuff, but just like favorite characters. And then as I got older, I wanted to be Sailor Moon or like Ash Ketchum or like just various characters. And then when I was younger, I went to my first anime convention. I was little, and my first convention was Anime Expo 2003. I was a little kid though, and I saw it was like in the summertime in July, and not any time near Halloween. And I saw all these people dressed up as their favorite characters from like different animes and video games and all media, and I was just completely blown away because I didn't know you could do that as like an adult. You could just dress up outside of like Halloween. It was the craziest thing. So then, after that time and I got into like high school and college years, I really got into cosplay and then, officially started being a cosplayer since then. So
Very cool.
yeah.
So yeah, you got to start out really early, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
I love how you started off with the conventional cartoons and the media that way, and then you transferred into anime, cultured yourself around a little bit more, with more variety, which that's awesome.
Yes. Like it was a long time coming. I know at least at one point my parents probably hid all of my Halloween costumes because I was just trying to stay in them, and I'm like, no, I want to be and everything. But I didn't get to get my little Sailor Moon one. I had to be a different character. I don't remember which character, but it was always a dream. And like I'm glad I'm living my dreams. I have different versions of Sailor Moonish related costumes now, but
Well, that's good. I've
yeah.
actually got a version of Sailor Moon that I was actually thinking about doing as well because
Oh, what?
it came up in a media a while back. It was a song that was created as a parody,
Okay.
but when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, that's a fandom I like, this style, but it's also Sailor Moon. Oh, I could do this mashup. I just need more people to go ahead and have fun with it. But there was the song when it came out. It was Shaggy Ball Z versus the One Jump Man.
Oh my god.
Yep, which of course is Shaggy as a Super Saiyan versus Luigi, the One
Oh,
Jump. But while this is going on and there's a battle royal between all these characters from video games crossovers, there is one is it like Sailor Soldier, and it is Guile from Street Fighter with the blonde hair, dressed up as a Sailor Scout. And
oh
I was
my god.
like, dude, dude,
Do it. Like I love crossovers more than anything. Like I may not do so many crossovers, but when I see one, I'm always in love. Like I said, my most popular, like I said, the Sailor Moon is like I have two Sailor Moon costumes at home, but mostly they were just more for like crossover. So the one I did was like say like back when Attack on Titan was very pop, like in the beginning of it, I did Sailor Titan.
okay, I could see that.
So like the colossal Titan and the little Sailor Moon and the in the name of the moon, I'll eat you.
Oh, I love it. Oh,
Oh
I
my
could
god.
just see it
It,
now.
yes. It's on the internet and it was a time to be alive.
Sounds like it. Hey, definitely gonna have to look that one up because that sounds just amazing. And the creativity. I mean, I love that. We don't talk about that enough, and cosplay really brings out that creativity in so many people.
It does. And it's just like that's why I'm like back to my my motto kind of thing, like cosplay. Oh, that might be my kids coming back. Yes, it is. Cosplay is for everybody. So like no matter what. Give me like 1 second, okay?
Not a problem.
Sorry.
And of course, with this, this goes to show, we have a busy schedule in life, and sometimes small little hiccups happen, but it's a good thing. Never take them, it's not bad. Always take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, smile. Sometimes it can be a blessing. And the fact that, of course, someone is very dedicated in their job and has the time and passion to be able to do this on the side, it's admirable, you know?
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
All right.
So, how many conventions have you actually gone to?
In my life.
Well, how about this past year to make it easier? Because I know in your life you've probably gone to a lot, and trying to rehash that could be hard.
Yeah. I would in this past year. Oh my goodness. Because in this past year I made a big change from moving from Japan to Oklahoma. And so my conventions like have changed from like 2004, 2000 or 2024 to 2025. But at least in the 2025 time, like larger conventions, I've probably been to 5 or 6, and then a lot
Okay.
more smaller conventions, I've probably been up to like 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So Oklahoma has had a lot of smaller local conventions or like a little events that are starting up. Even just last month, I was at a Guthrie Comic Con or Guthrie Con and Fandom. I'm terrible with the names, but basically Guthrie Con, they just first year started, and I was actually a cosplay guest there, so I got to actually help judge, and had a booth. Yeah, so I was super excited, and so that was like a lot of new cons. There's a lot of groups that are getting into it, so I'd like to help out with a lot of more local things in Oklahoma, but sometimes I like to travel outside of Oklahoma as well, like going to WeebCon in Texas next week. Actually, I have 2 conventions next week, which is Anime 405 and Anime Frontier. And then in January, I'm going to go to Anime Los Angeles, which is all the way in California. So, yeah. But I'm trying to like go to at least a con a month if I can, if it's like local or something, or time wise. But
That I do. This year I've been to 15 cons, but I made a big mistake, and I didn't realize that I probably should go ahead and separate it a little bit more. In 1 month, I went to 5 different events. So it was
Ooh.
one every weekend and one in between. So it was like 2 in 1 week. I was exhausted. I did not plan that through properly.
Listen, I hear you. I hear you on this. July was that.
Yep.
I was tired. I couldn't wait for August to come and I can actually have like a break in life. And I was like, and then now I'm just like, there's November. I think I only had technically one convention this month, and then, well, now it's December now, but like November, I only had maybe one convention. I went for like a day or two, and then that was like it because it was local. But I've had like a break, and it's been nice. And now I have like 2 conventions in one weekend, and I'm just like, and
It
I'm going
happens.
because I'm that person.
Hey, no judgment here. I mean, I've literally done pretty much the same, and I get it. You know, it's hard to say no, especially when you feel so alive at the cons.
Oh
It,
my
it it's
gosh.
like a piece of yourself that like you forgot about over the years because we get into that rut of okay, we're older, we have a job, we're working, we're paying bills.
Retired.
Nothing, we're there's nothing wrong with it, but we
Retired.
lose that little bit of we lose that little bit of innocence that we had as a child, and then we realize this is it. This was that missing piece, and you feel so alive. You meet great friends. You get to go ahead and do what you're passionate about on the side, and it's like, wait a minute, I can make this a job too. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
that's why I'm especially trying to get out to you know, kind of like out of state conventions, trying to go to different ones because it's like I like meeting like new people, but I will admit, a lot of my current fandom obsessions are very niche. And so in my area, I'm probably the one that likes these things. But like when I go to like other maybe larger conventions or just other parts of the world even, it's
mhm.
like I find those people and it's like a whole nother like breath of life into it because you're like, it's like for me, I'm like, it's cool. I can talk to people online and whatever, but actually meeting people that like that same kind of thing is just so like amazing. And you're like, oh my God, we're even dressed up from it. That's even a
Mhm.
better win. So I'm just like, again, super excited for like the events and everything. So
Oh, definitely. Now, you mentioned before that you moved from Japan to the States.
yes.
What is the con ratio like? Like, how is it different overseas?
So, oh my gosh, there's so many
Oh,
different like I actually do run a panel about cosplaying in Japan. So
okay.
sometimes at conventions here, I'll do like a panel if it gets approved and everything about how to like actually cosplay in Japan because I lived there about 10 years and I cosplayed there about 10 years. So I have a general idea now, everybody does their own styles and everything, but conventions in itself is while here at least so in my area of Oklahoma and a couple of the conventions I've been California, I've been to like Texas, Kansas, those kind of areas and stuff that I've seen as well. A lot of the conventions are more like they have a little bit higher fan base or like kind of like so a lot of the conventions in Japan are more industry based conventions. If they're like
Okay.
a big event, so like Anime Japan, Jump Festa, Tokyo Game Show, all of those are more industry based events, or they're 90% industry. Versus here, you may not have an industry guest always coming to the convention, such as like Toho or Mappa or something like that, or even Crunchyroll. That's not
Okay.
always an event, but there's a lot of like I mean, you have like guests that come and they'll do panels and stuff, but like you mostly have just like fans doing panels. You'll have like cosplay contests. They don't have cosplay contests in Japan like that at all. It's kind of based on the whole like limiting competition between cosplayers. They do have, of course, World Cosplay Summit, so there is a way to compete, but most of the events are actually very limited for cosplayers. So as a
Oh,
cosplayer to go to a, convention or like an anime event such as like Anime Japan, there is a space that you can change. You do have to pay to use that changing space, so you are paying to cosplay at the venue, which is not that bad. It's like, $10 or something, and you store your baggage. So I mean, it's kind of all inclusive. But there is a space. They have a specific area that you do cosplay to take pictures. Outside in the regular venue, they ask you not to take photos. Like if someone stops, like the stop, hey, I like your costume. Can I take a photo? That interrupts traffic. So they ask you not to do that. If you yourself want to take a picture with like a standee or something, that's different. That's fine. You can take pictures. You can cosplay inside the venue. However, there's a very limited space for cosplayers. It's just a small section over the big event versus here where you see like it's kind of like I would say like a 50-50 kind of thing. Most of like 50% of the attendees and like different things are happening are kind of like for cosplayers to do stuff and, show a little more cater for cosplayers as well as attendees versus in Japan, maybe 90%. even 95% will be out of cosplay, just attending to shop or look at the industry news, such as new anime or the talk shows or something. And a small portion will actually be cosplaying. Again, a lot of people do go to these Japanese events. So when I say like a small portion or like that 10%, it's not always like one or two people. There's a good number of cosplayers there. If you see like Comic-Con or something, but there is a larger number of people not in cosplay doing things. So it is a different scene. You can still have fun. You can still enjoy as a cosplayer. It's just a little bit different. Also, they're kind of like Comic-Con, or not Comic-Con, like Comic-Con. Kind of like some Comic-Con rules where like the venue ends at certain times, so it's not really an overnight thing like a lot of anime conventions are known for, where they have midnight programming and stuff like that. Usually about 5 or 6 o'clock, they say, "All right, get out. See you tomorrow." 9 to 5 kind of thing. Saturdays and Sundays, so everybody just gets their fill of the convention, and then they just like send everyone home at a reasonable hour so they can go home. So it's a little bit different. There's not so much like a night scene or anything like that. So
Okay. I mean, it
yeah,
makes sense. I mean, if any of us have ever gone to a con from the very beginning, a lot of times some of us will stay to the very end, but you've seen everything within a few hours. You do still have fun still, but you know, to have that traffic and people go ahead and leave it early, it makes sense, especially for those who are traveling abroad.
yes.
If you're staying the whole day, you might be sleep deprived. You might not be able to enjoy it as much. So by limiting the time, everyone gets to enjoy what they want, not feel overwhelmed. I
The
kind of
only
like it.
side is like, of course, that Sunday, that Sunday at 6 o'clock, everybody's leaving the venue. Everybody's taking the train. Everybody's going in a rush. So it does get a bit busy when you're trying to leave if you're all leaving a certain time. But again, it leaves for time for everybody to stagger it out. So it's pretty nice. So I like I said in my when I do panels and stuff, I go into all the details of how to etiquette and timing and even which venues to go to. Personally, my favorite convention would be Jump Festa. It happens in December. I'm missing it yet again this year. I'm so sad. It's like my favorite convention, and it's basically like again another industry. It has actually two large warehousey buildings,
Okay.
like a little shopping area. And I mean, even if you went for a day, like you really need those 2 days because it's like there's so much to see, so much to do that even I don't always get to do everything at the event. I also just kind of like go around, and there's a lot of like demos and stuff, and so there's so much to do. It's so jam packed. And the best part of it, like, it's really low cost. I think in the beginning it used to actually be free to get in. And now I think it's closer to, with inflation and everything, it's like probably closer to like about $12 to get in for like a weekend or something like that. I'd have to go back and look at like the yen and everything. But I mean, compared to the US going to a convention in Japan, it's very affordable because they just say, we don't want you to pay so much to get in. You spend all your money buying things, and they even have a postal service at the con so that people can ship their stuff back because they are not going to be able to carry it. Like they're like, we don't want you to inconvenience you on the train or on the bus or on a plane. You just ship it back. Ship it back.
Nice.
So, I mean, maybe not shipping it to the States, but like, shipping it back, to your house in Japan. So
Yeah.
they're prepared. They're ready for it. They have a lot of organization. So, I miss going to those events. The other flip side that are more cosplay based events like World Cosplay Summit, and actually so for cosplay related events, those are just strictly cosplay. So they're not like a convention, they're more like a meetup, but ideally they rent a space or a venue because Japan is all about kind of not inconveniencing people. So they book certain days and say, hey, this day we're renting this space for a few hours, or like we're got a permit to be in this location. We're going to go to this area that's like a Ferris wheel or something. So if you want a photo shoot in that location, then you come here, or we'll go to the park and do it. Just different backgrounds, and you just kind of pay a small fee to go ahead and experience this whole thing. And those aren't conventions; they're just like more like cosplay. So you mostly go there if you really want to take photos. So ideally, have a photographer. Lately, they've taken the feedback to have a hired photographer, depending on the organization.
Got a little bit of buffering going on, but it happens. Hopefully we didn't lose you. I do apologize for the technical difficulties. As anyone is aware, especially using technology, unforeseen things can happen. Looks like we might have actually lost Sora. We'll give it a few minutes right here to go ahead and see if Sora is able to reconnect with us. But until then, of course, if you're liking the episode and enjoying and would like to go ahead and be on the show, don't forget, reach out. Talk to me. Leave a message, like, subscribe, share to anyone else that you think might want to be on the show as well. Open to hear many different voices from many different people, because everyone's got a story. And what better place to go ahead and actually share yours? Let's see. I do want to thank everyone though who does tune in. Make sure to go ahead and you know give me some of your suggestions. If you know a cosplayer in particular that maybe I haven't seen or talked about, um, give me their socials, something where I can reach out, see what they're, you know, what they're like, what they do, and if they'd like to be on the show. If you have any conventions that you go to and you'd like us to actually join, talk to the convention owners and have them reach out to me. I would gladly love to travel, join you at different cons, and yeah. All right. Well, it looks like that Sora might not be coming back the rest of the show, unfortunately. So we are going to go ahead and call this a little short. I do apologize, and I'm hoping that maybe we can go ahead and get Sora to come back on at a later date. Maybe a little bit better connectivity, and we'll go from there. But reach out, people. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Feel free to post some pics, convention stories. Just have fun with it. You know. But everyone, have a great night, and remember, you can dream, believe, create. Take care.